In the words of Gatemen third base coach Mike Mobbs, if it was easy, it wouldn't be this much fun. The Gatemen squeaked away another home victory in the playoffs, 5-3 over the Chatham Anglers. Ninth inning dramatics all over again. Joey Barron with another electric performance out of the bullpen. Everybody took a deep breath as the Gatemen now are one win away from the 2018 CCBL title. Hi, everybody. Henrique DaMour joined by JD Raucci and Cam Stuart on the Postgame Show. And JD, we knew it was going to be ace stuff from Ryan Garcia and Easton Lucas, that 1-2 punch out of the pen. Garcia had another great outing. What'd you see?
He had a great outing, but boy, did he give us some heart palpitations. Left the bases loaded once, left two runners in scoring position once, left two runners on once, he had at least one base runner in scoring position in 4 of the 5 innings he pitched, including the fact that he had those bases loaded and got out of that jam just barely and just came up huge for the Gatemen today. He still had 7 strikeouts. He still had the strikeout stuff. The fastball was great. He shut down Blake Sable, who was 0 for 3 against him. He was able to really quell Spencer Torkelson until the latter half when Torkelson hit a bomb. We'll get to that in a minute. However, a lot of this top half of the lineup, Michael Bush, 0 for 5. Blake Sable, 1 for 5. Spencer Torkelson, 2 for 5. So not a fantastic day by any stretch of the imagination for him, but he did have a couple of clutch hits. We'll get to that in a second as well. However, Garcia was fantastic. I loved what I saw out of Easton Lucas. Again, he gave us some heart palpitations. He continued that kind of stretch where we're going to let base runners on, but somehow we're going to squeak out. Gave up a double to Spencer Torkelson. Then he gave up a home run, an absolute mammoth shot to Torkelson. 402 feet, 102 miles per hour on the exit velocity. That was an absolute bomb. He had a great night tonight. But the Gatemen pitching staff did just enough tonight. Easton Lucas, again, much like the Katuitt game, came in with a lead in the 9th inning and nearly gave it up. He gave up another home run, this one to Tristan English, another bomb into left field, another one that was 375 feet plus halfway up the bleachers out and left. But really, this Gatemen pitching staff did just enough. Very impressed with what I saw from Joey Barron tonight. He didn't even come close to having the meltdown. First batter he faces, top of the order, Blake Sable, gets him to line out and go on the ground to Lyle Lockhart. He fumbles with it a bit. He reaches first base, but after that, he settles back in, gets the final 3 outs of the game. And how about Lyle Lockhart defensively to get the final out that the Gatemen needed to win this game? Dives, makes a fantastic stop, makes up for the error earlier in the inning, tags the base with his glove, and the Gatemen have a 1-0 lead, thanks in large part to the pitching and the defense today. I was very impressed from both.
So like you said, JD, fantastic pitching, fantastic defense, clutch defense. Lyle Lockhart Jr. continues to impress at first in a clutch scenario there. But, Cam, the Gatemen, it took a while for the offense to get going against the Chatham pitching staff, but we knew it was going to be tough for them, but Austin Shenton came up with a huge hit.
Yeah, and we're sensing a theme from the Gatemen in this postseason when they're playing here at Spillane. 3 games here at Spillane, obviously 3-0, Gatemen undefeated on the postseason, and just +4 in those games. So they are tight ones, and we saw it again today. Obviously, with Bergner on the mound, a great starter, and it took a while for them to get to them. They weren't working the count like I thought they were going to in pregame. It took to the 5th inning, and it was the 3 runs, all unearned, and it was off the bat of Austin Shenton. What else is new? He just comes through again. Big-time players, big-time plays, big-time games, yada, yada, yada. Austin Shenton does it again. Sends one out to right center that I thought was going to get out off the bat, and Torkelson has it hit off his glove, and it ends up becoming a bases-clearing double with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Shenton. Doesn't get much more clutch than that. Jacob Goldfarb, a guy who hasn't been in the lineup too much during the season for the Gatemen, put in the number 2 spot tonight, has a triple that extends the lead. Jeremy Idens, struggling at the plate, still makes a productive out, gets another RBI on the sacrifice fly. It's, again, just the Gatemen doing enough offensively. They don't manufacture a lot of runs because they don't steal a lot of bags. They don't wreak too much havoc on the base paths. They're facing a really tough starter today, but got to that Chatham bullpen like they wanted to and got a couple of runs off them as well. It wasn't easy, but they all count the same, and no matter what, at the end of the day, the Gatemen are still 1 win away from the championship.
Like you said, Cam, the Gatemen offense did just enough. The top of the order produced at an electric level for Wareham. Not the top-down production we're used to seeing in the more definitive, more comfortable wins, but they did enough today. Mary Orders got to check in with Austin Shenton, who anchored down that top 5 in the offense today.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with tonight's player of the game, Austin Shenton. Now, Austin, over halfway through the game, you came up to bat, hit a double, drove in 3 runs. Can you walk me through that at-bat?
I just got up there and I was just trying to come up big for my team. You know, the bases were loaded and 2 outs, bottom 5. I mean, it was locked to 0-0 and no one seemed to be able to score. So I was just trying to be on time for the fastball and put a couple runs across.
How big was it for the Gatemen to get on the board first?
I think it was big. I mean, the pitchers were doing a great job today of just keeping. I mean, they're minimizing runs all day. I mean, it was scoreless through I think 6 or 7. So they did a great job today, and then I was able to just put a good swing on the ball.
You talk about the pitching a little bit. Ryan Garcia went through 5 scoreless. How do you guys feed off that energy?
You know, he's been huge for us all year. I mean, he's just got great stuff, great command. I mean, he commands all 3-4 of his pitches really well, and he's been huge for us. Just, I mean, every time he comes out, we can kind of guarantee that it's going to be 4 or 5 scoreless innings or more. I mean, he's just been that solid lately.
How important was it to get the first win of the series?
I think it's important, but I don't think if we didn't win, I don't think there's any pressure on us. You know, I think we're a team that plays pretty loose and easy, and every day I feel like we're confident that we're going to win it no matter what.
Lastly, tomorrow, what do you guys need to do to get this win?
Just do what we did tonight. I mean, just handle our business, take care of it, and win all 3 facets of the game, hitting, pitching, and defense. And I think after tomorrow night, we'll be looking back at a great season.
Austin, thanks so much and great game. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much to Mary Orders and today's player of the game, Austin Shenton. Big 3-run double in the Gatemen's 5-3 win today over the Anglers. They are 1 win away. They will try to clinch tomorrow, 7 p.m. first pitch at Veterans Field, where the Gatemen have had a ton of success, but they're going to have to do it against one of the best, if not the best pitcher in the league, in Alex Manoah.
Alek Manoah out of West Virginia has been the strikeout king of the Cape League. Led the league in strikeouts in the regular season with 48 in a couple of appearances. He actually opened the season for the Chatham Anglers against the Gatemen, went 5 innings, gave up 3 unearned runs, but had a couple of strikeouts in that. But how about 3 appearances with 11-plus strikeouts for him this season? The last one coming against the Harwich Mariners in Game 2 of the first-round series for Chatham. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 runs on 8 hits, but he had 11 strikeouts. 11 strikeouts against Harwich. He had 12 against the best offense in terms of not striking out and in terms of average this season in YD at one point this year. And they also had another 12 against Harwich in a previous outing. He is a flamethrower. 6'7", 270. Big boy. Built like a house on the mound, but the Gatemen have had success with him thus far this season. The Gatemen are also really, really good against starters that are really good for the rest of the season. They actually seem to play down to their competition at some points. That's something we've talked about a couple of times this season. But when aces are on the mound, Austin Bergner tonight, they tag him around for 3 runs, although all of them were unearned. Then you see Alek Manoah coming tomorrow. It's going to be a tough task for the Gatemen because he is such a power pitcher, and the Gatemen don't really strike out all that much, but they do have a lot of swings and misses and really swing for the fences. So he can provide the power in terms of if a guy's throwing hard to you, the ball is going to come off the bat a little bit harder, but it can also blow it right by you. Should be interesting to see what we see from Alek Manoah tomorrow, but backs against the wall for Chatham, you're going to see a good outing from him.
Chatham with nothing to lose, like you said, except for, well, the end of their season. They're going to try to do so in front of a home crowd where they really haven't had much success this year. Chatham's record at Veterans Field is not great, but until losing today to the Gatemen, 2-0 in the playoffs, they were undefeated as well. Coming into this game, the Gatemen are going to have a tough time against Alek Manoah, though they had success against him, like JD mentioned, on opening night. But the Gatemen will counter with Derek West, the usual Game 2 starter.
Yeah, Derek West, a great guy to have as your number 2 guy, considering what has happened to the Gatemen this year. You look at the names they've lost for arms: Mason Fioli, Joey Matulovic, Ken Waldachuk, Connor Lund. They lose all of those guys. Will Proctor even more recently than that, and you still can roll out a guy as good as Derek West in your number 2 spot, a sub-2 ERA this year, and a guy they picked up in the middle of July, which, as I've said before, is one of the toughest times, if not the toughest time, to pick up any guy here on the Cape because everyone's locked into their summer leagues. But he's been so good this year. The big frame with a nice downhill trajectory, great fastball for him. He labored a little bit the last time out, much like we saw Garcia today. Not necessarily ineffective, but did labor a bit. So he's got to have a bounce back start for him tomorrow to kind of seal the deal for the Gatemen. And behind him, it's all systems go. It's whoever's available, especially with the lead. You never know who's going to be strutted out there for the Gatemen. And I expect Derek West to have a good start tomorrow. He's been so good for them all year in any role that he's ever been in. So big start for him tomorrow. The secondary stuff wasn't necessarily there for him against Katuitt. If he has that again, like Garcia missed it a little bit tonight but got it back, that'll be the key.
So West against Manoah, that is the matchup for these two teams as the Gatemen try to win the CCBL title tomorrow at Veterans Field. They're 1 win away. If not, we'll see you for Game 3. Hopefully we don't. Not that we don't love you, but the Gatemen will love the Gatemen a little more. We'll see you on the other side of things tomorrow. First pitch at Veterans Field, 7 o'clock. Join us there.